Tony's Hard Work Day by Arkin. One time, Tony's mother and father bought a house in the country. It was a small house and very broken, but Tony's father liked it because there was green grass everywhere and sweet water and good air that you could breathe all day long. "Smell the air," Tony's father would say, and everyone would stop what they were doing and breathe in and out. There was a lot of work to do in the country, painting work and cleaning work and hanging up curtains and taking down spider webs and hammering and nailing and things like that. "Let me help," Tony said to his father. "Let me hammer." "No, you are too small," Tony's father answered. "You would hit yourself with the hammer and then you would cry and we would all have to stop working and hold you for a little while, so that's not a good idea." "Let me help," Tony said to his mother who was sewing curtains. "Not right now," said Tony's mother, "because I'm making tiny, tiny stitches with my needle and your hands aren't smart enough to do such small work. And you would stick yourself and a little blood would come. And you hate blood and then you would cry and we would all have to stop working and rock you and sing to you. So that's not a good idea." "Let me help," Tony said to his big brother Matthew, who was painting his room with a big brush. "No," said Matthew, "you don't know how to paint. And you will make a mess on the floor and then I will get angry and yell at you. And you will cry and run to Mommy and she will ask you what's wrong and you will tell her that I was mean to you and she will tell Daddy and he will yell at me. So that's not a good idea." "Let me help," Tony said to his other big brother Adam, who was chopping wood. "No," said Adam, "this axe is very heavy and you won't be able to lift it very high and it will drop fast and fall on your foot and you will yell and jump around for 10 minutes, so that's not a good idea." "But what will be a good idea for me?" Tony asked his brother. "A good idea for you is to go and play someplace where you don't bother anybody," said Adam. "Okay," said Tony, and he took a walk to where there was a big hill. "I will build my own house," he said. So Tony dug a big hole in the ground, then he filled up the hole with pebbles and stones and smoothed it down carefully until it was flat. "That will be the floor," said Tony.
Get out of it.
Then Tony made an axe out of a sharp rock and a stick. "I will chop down some trees for the walls of my house," he said. And he chopped down 100 trees and cut the tops so they turned into logs. Then he cut little pieces from the ends so they would fit together and he rolled them over to the stone floor. Then he put one log on top of another to make the walls of his house. But pretty soon the walls were so high that he couldn't reach the top, so he went home to get a ladder. "Now I can reach the top," he said.
Got it down and back it.
Tony finished putting up the walls of his house and then cut down 100 more trees to make the roof. He put one tree right next to another on top of the house, and when that was done, he went into the woods and got some vines. He pulled the leaves from the vines until he had a long rope and he tied all the trees on the roof together. Then he made some mud with water and dirt and smeared it all over the roof so the rain wouldn't get in. Then he chopped big square holes in the walls with his axe. "Those will be my windows," said Tony. When he was done with the windows, he went home for lunch. He was very hungry from all that work, so he ate 5 sandwiches and drank 7 glasses of milk. "What have you been doing all morning?" said Tony's father. "Playing a game on the hill," said Tony, and he went back to work. He got 1,000 rocks and he piled them up on top of each other inside the house. And when he came to the ceiling, he cut a hole so a chimney could go through. "This will be my fireplace," said Tony. Then he put mud between all the rocks so the fireplace would stay out forever.
I made out of rock.
Then he got some of the tall grass that grew in the meadow and he wove a big rug for his house so his feet would be warm when his shoes were off. Then he took a nap because he was all tired out from his hard work. When he woke up, the whole family was standing over him. "We couldn't find you anywhere," said his mother. "I was sleeping," said Tony. "Who made this beautiful house?" asked Tony's father. "I did," said Tony, "and it was very hard work. It took me the whole day." "It looks like a good place to live," said Adam. "Can we stay in this house with you?" asked Matthew. "Sure," said Tony. So they moved all the beds and dishes into the house Tony built, and they were so happy there that they stayed in the country forever. And whenever there was any work to do, they would say to Tony, "Can I help?" And Tony would always say yes.